welcome back to the Rect Room. The third episode of the Rect Room is on. The Rect Room, the poutine in podcast form. And of course, today I have the beautiful, wonderful people that make up the rest of the show with me. We got Chase Barassa.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, there he is. And Mr. Josh Machier.
What's going on? I'm currently in remote podcasting away from my normal podcasting location, which is my dingy spare bedroom in my house, which is now I'm in the good old Fort McMurray, Alberta, in the COVID-19 capital.
A dingy closet is where you're.
Yeah, really, like literally this room, camp room I'm in is literally the size of my bathroom at home.
So basically, you're just in a shitter hole.
Yeah.
All right.
And
so, just regular stuff. All right, boys. Well, this is the third podcast we're doing here. And as always, things are changing around. We're trying to improve. We're trying to get better. And one of the things we've added to this one is we want to start doing a local company spotlight, a locally owned company that deserves a little recognition from the people of Regina. And we started off with a great one. We got Regina Dumping and Hauling. It's Regina Dumping and Hauling. It's a locally based company. You just wanted to hear me dumping.
I want to hear you dump those loads.
Yeah, well, this company, it'll give you a lot of loads. It's a locally based company here in Regina. They're based out of North Central. They do a lot of volunteer work at the North Central Community Center. They specialize in demolition, flood and fire damage, basement guts. Pretty much anytime you need something cleaned out, something put back together, whatever. It's run by a beautiful human being named Brandon Campbell, good friend of mine. I've personally seen him do his job, and he is wonderful at it. They're based on 1377 King Street, and their phone number is 306-533-9735. Give them a call with any of your needs for any of your dumping and hauling needs, and they would be most happy to accommodate you. All right, boys. So now that we got that beautiful thing out of the way, what we're going to do is we're going to start. I'm getting some echo here. Sorry, guys.
I think Josh froze.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just soldier on. Okay. So we're starting off with First Blood, and there he is. Is he back? Is he on? Is he back? I don't know.
I think he's getting a call.
Okay. Well, we'll do this without you, Josh. Thanks for slotting away 1 hour of your time. Okay, so we're gonna start with First Blood, and we're kind of doing a continuation from the last one. We talked about the Jake Paul fight, that total shit show that was the Jake Paul fight. Well, now we got a new shit show with the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight. And you guys know what I'm talking about. The schmozzle, the scrum that happened at their first press conference. Yes, you do.
There we go.
Anyway, there we go. Wonders of technology. Okay, so
you're muted, bud. Just gotta unmute that button.
Do we want to start this over?
We're still going through.
I'm right here. We're good.
There we go. We're good. We're good.
We're good. Yeah, we're just gonna keep moving on. I don't know if you noticed, guys, but we're working with some very quality products here.
We're learning.
We are. Okay, so what happened? The first press conference that they had for the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight was last week, and of course, Jake Paul had to done steal the show. After some pretty lackluster banter from Mayweather and Paul, Jake Paul threw himself into the mix and confronted Mayweather after they got off stage. And in his immense maturity and ability to deal with a pressure situation, after they yelled at each other for a bit, Jake Paul stole Mayweather's hat and shit ensued.
But pump the brakes. It started on stage.
Oh, did it? Okay. Maybe I missed that shot.
So Mayweather was standing there. Jake Paul reaches on stage and unties his shoe in just a childish act. You know? and then looks at him and goes, "Your shoe's untied." Gosh, had an aneurysm again.
Okay. Is that? Are you sure that's him? My thing froze for a second there.
No, he's frozen. Anyway,
Okay.
So it started with the shoe untying, and then it went back after off stage, and the hat thing happened, and we got a clip
Yes.
of that here.
Well, let's pull up that clip so we can show people just how ridiculous this situation turned out.
Yeah. So he steals his hat there.
Yeah.
And instead of just being like, oh, it's a hat, Mayweather's like, no, fuck you, here I come.
Well, exactly, right? Like that would have been the play if you wanted to actually seem like you're in control of the situation. It would be to not give a shit about a fucking hat. Mayweather lost his nut. Like the guy went absolutely crazy.
Like,
and of course Mayweather runs with 15, 20 bodyguards on him at all times, and they all swarm Paul and start beating him up, and Logan tries to jump in to help his brother.
But the thing is Logan didn't want to put his fight in jeopardy. So he just backed off. He's like, well, fuck, like, I can't do anything. I can't help my brother. Well,
he did get in there for a little bit. He was trying to pull him off. He just didn't throw any punches. It didn't get real physical.
Yeah. So I mean, he said he wanted to step in. He told him, because Jake Paul said beforehand, "Hey, I'm gonna do this," and Logan's like, "No, don't." But he did it anyway.
So you're telling me that Jake Paul planned this out and it still turned out that bad?
And he got knocked pretty hard a couple of times. Like he
did.
Looked like he was in pretty rough shape.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now, buddy.
Yeah, you're back in action, big guy.
Your video's frozen again, but we got. There you go.
Are we back?
There he is. There's that handsome son of a bitch.
I'm about an hour north of Fort McMurray, and the camp and the service up here is horrible. I'm pretty sure you got like 2 sticks up in the bush there for an antenna.
Well, rub them together harder.
Yeah, you might be better off not using the Wi-Fi and just going off your network speed, because
I'm not even using. There's no Wi-Fi right now unless I have a router.
Great camp. Great camp.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So how long are you up there for? Because we have podcasts to shoot.
A month minimum anyway.
Okay. Well, we will keep trying as long as Chase and I can. While you're going in and out, that's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
always going.
The jokes really don't work when we can't hear what you're saying.
You're basically the Internet Explorer of the podcast right now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So let me get my
yeah.
take in there while you can hear me.
Yeah.
This is literally the soap opera of the internet. Jake Paul is absolutely lucky that people are into this drama.
And we lost you.
Shit right now, or otherwise he would get punched right up.
I think what Josh is trying to say is Jake Paul's a douche and Mayweather overreacted. To sum it up, really. I mean, because to be fair, though, neither one of them came out of this looking like any kind of alpha male. They both looked like morons.
They did. It was awful. At the end of the day, they look like children fighting.
Yeah, it looked like some schoolyard bullshit. Like I said, Jake Paul stealing a guy's hat, just ridiculous. And this untying his shoe or whatever.
And the dude's got millions of dollars and got your hat. Okay, I have 3,000 more.
Right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And of course,
I understand the principle of it, but.
Yeah, well, and Mayweather on the other hand is, like you said, like he's got tons of fucking clothes. What does he give a shit about a hat? But it's the whole "you're not going to disrespect me" thing, which I thought would have been so much better had he not given a shit. Like if you look when he fought Conor McGregor, and McGregor, slapped his head and called him a little bitch and this and that. Mayweather played it much cooler than he ever did with Jake Paul. Jake Paul got a bigger rise, which, say what you will about Jake Paul. That's kind of almost impressive. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't such a childish way to do it, it'd almost be impressive. He got Mayweather to kind of freak out.
So here's the big thing, though. Now Jake Paul can't go to the fight. He's banned from ringside.
No, but see, well, here's the question, though. is this a good or a bad thing? Because even though it was completely childish, it was ridiculous. I mean, it did get a lot of noise. And that's kind of what this whole YouTubers starting fighting thing is. It's all about selling tickets, making people watch, which this stunt, as it were, does kind of make some noise and makes people kind of tune in or at least look at the clips and stuff to say, hey, you know, what happened?
So let's face it, this was all planned, guaranteed, because now Jake Paul wants to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Paul wants the next one.
Well, and see, and that's exactly what I was going to ask you is, like the Logan Paul thing really isn't getting a ton of Mayweather versus Logan Paul isn't really getting a ton of press. I mean, it is, but it's not quite as big as that Ben Askren Jake Paul thing that just happened. And Mayweather's obviously a much bigger fighter than Ben Askren, but obviously this is going to set up a fight with Mayweather and Jake Paul. You know, there's bad blood there. They're both kind of still on top of the game. It kind of sets that up, no brainer. And we all know that Logan Paul is going to lose to Mayweather. I mean, be amazed if he didn't, although I'd love to see him knock that little goof out.
He'll probably go the distance just because of Paul's sheer size. Like, did you see the size difference between the guys?
Oh, Mayweather can't knock anybody out. Of course, Paul. My only hope is that Paul is big enough that he lands one good one, and just takes Mayweather's fucking head off.
Yeah,
because that would be beautiful.
That's the one thing that Paul has going for him is his sheer size. And I mean, if he can swing through that guard, he might have a chance, you know, but he's got to catch the guy first.
Yeah, no. And the only thing I think Mayweather's going to do, he's going to turtle up and he's going to try and tire him out because a big guy gets tired much faster. So I think, you know, come the 8th, 9th, 10th round, he's going to start turning it on and maybe knock Paul down or out. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that with this whole schmozzle that happened, everybody kind of paying attention to Jake Paul more. Logan is kind of like the third wheel on this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he's in the fight.
And that's the problem. Jake Paul's been the selfish one a lot recently, where he'll try and steal his own family's limelight. You know, you have 15 minutes of fame with the best boxer in the world, and you're stealing that time away from your own blood. Like, you're a prick.
Well, he's always kind of had a bit of a chip on his shoulder that Logan, I mean, I don't know what their followers are on, but Logan's way bigger than he is on YouTube, right?
I believe so. I'm not sure what their stats are now, but yeah.
I mean, don't quote me on the numbers, but I think Logan Paul has somewhere like 16, 17, 18 million, whereas Jake has like 12 or 13, which, you know, it's still quite a few followers, a lot more than we got. But everybody always likes to say you're in the shadow of your big brother. And I think Jake Paul is one of those guys that kind of takes that personally.
Yeah. So like, okay, Logan Paul has 23 million subscribers.
There you go.
And
Jake, I would say like 16 at best.
20.
Well, he's probably gained quite a few since he's been doing this shit.
Oh,
but he's still 3 million behind him, right?
You're acting like an asshole, but that's what gets you subscribers, apparently.
Well, yeah, we've all seen compilations on YouTube of people acting like complete morons for a few likes. And Jake Paul seems to be pretty good at doing that.
Well, we seem to have lost Josh. I tried to send him a message in the chat to say join audio only, but he hasn't seen it yet. So I'm not sure.
Right, well, if he comes wheeling back in, we're always ready for him, but that's okay. But awesome. You know what I was really shocked about by this whole situation? Before the whole craziness happened, I was watching the press conference and it's Mayweather and Paul on stage, Logan, and Mayweather, a guy who's done press conference after he's done this stuff a bunch of times, and Paul, who has 23 million followers on YouTube. The banter between both of them was god awful. Like it was tragically sad.
I think there was an intimidation factor because Logan Paul, don't get me wrong, when it comes to, you know, shit talking another YouTuber, I think that's right in his wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
But when he's going against a professional athlete, that he's in the big dog's house now. And he's going, I don't know what to do. You know, I think that probably played into the banter a little bit, but I get you back there, buddy.
I understand what you're saying there, Chase, and I agree that could be. But if you even watched it on Mayweather's side, he was just there was no real barbs. There was like he was trying to bring up Logan Paul when he did that shit to Japan or whatever. He went to that suicide forest, that big scandal, and he really didn't make anything of it. And then Paul made a jab about him beating his wife, about Mayweather hitting his wife. And Mayweather just kind of got awkward about it. Like I said, like the trash talk was pretty terrible.
You think there was cue cards that Mayweather was trying to read off of?
No, because Mayweather can't read. We all know that.
Yeah. that was one of the things.
I know Logan Paul made a joke about that.
Yeah. Fuck. I think everybody's made a joke about that. Conor McGregor.
That's because everybody knows it's true.
Oh, hi, Josh.
Can you hear me now?
I will fucking hear you now, buddy.
I can hear you now. Have you recently become an angel?
I'm currently sitting in my truck looking into the sunset because there's no reception inside camp. So I had to move out to my Studio B out here. And
the mobile podcast studio. We always talked about getting one of those.
Technically, that's what I'm out here working for. So
yeah. Hey, whatever. You know what? You're a little shiny, but we'll take it. Like
your connection's much better. Yeah.
We're still learning. So.
Okay, so since you came in and we got a fresh perspective, Josh, I was just asking Chase, like with all this craziness that happened in the thing, was it good? Like, do you feel anybody came out of this thing looking good? Like they won the exchange, or was it just everybody? It was a fucking dumpster fire, and nobody should be proud of being associated with this thing.
This, like I was trying to say earlier, before my internet got shitty, is that this is literally like the soap opera of the internet right now. People are like, Jake Paul is lucky that there's people into this whole drama bullshit with the whole MMA fighting bullshits and everything like that. The whole deal is Jake Paul's been calling out Mayweather for a long time. Mm-hmm. He was there's this one website you can go on where you can actually pay to talk to celebrities for like 10 minutes at a time, bullshit like that. So what? Jake Paul, yeah, literally, it's there's a YouTube video of Jake Paul actually going on it and talking to Floyd Mayweather. I think this was maybe a year or so, maybe a couple years ago.
I'm just saying, why aren't we using this for the podcast?
Well, unless you want
to pay some high-profile guests,
unless you want to pay thousands of dollars to talk to a celebrity for 10 minutes, but
I'll clear a check.
But Floyd Mayweather is also a douchebag enough to actually be that guy to have to pay to talk to.
Yeah, well, yeah. You got to pay him to do anything.
Well, yeah. So the whole Jake Paul finally was able to get on with him to talk to him. Paid a shitload of money to talk to Floyd for like 10 minutes, and even then he called him out. Then I can't remember how long it was. It was maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was on Jake Paul's YouTube channel. Okay. And and Mayweather was playing the whole, who are you? I don't know you. I don't know you. Who are you? You think you're all tough and everything? I don't know you. And you know how Mayweather is. Mayweather is just as much of a douchebag. So
probably more so.
Mayweather actually trained Jake Paul in the beginning.
Yeah.
Jake Paul trained with him a couple times at his gym. I don't know if he actually trained him. I think they may have sparred a couple times and that's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But now Jake Paul, the only reason he's doing this shit, one, because he's fucking 23, kids fucking still wet behind the ears. He's got an excuse to be young and dumb. Two, he's making fucking bank off this shit.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Just his name being out there and anybody searching anything that he's involved with, he's making fucking bank off all of this bullshit. And Mayweather too. Like, let's be real. If people cared about the rec room drama bullshit on the internet, all three of us could start a fucking argument with each other and there'd be millions of fucking views.
Do you think that we can start a boxing match with somebody?
I'm just saying, I'm willing to fight either one of you if we get that kind of numbers.
Well, I'm thinking
we have to have clothes on
against somebody else.
I mean, hey, how bad do you want the views? But
Okay.
yeah, no, I agree. Like it still just kind of hurts my head that this whole thing is a thing. And I know that a guy like Jake Paul and Logan Paul is they're just doing it for the attention. I mean, that's the whole thing about having a YouTube channel. You're trying to get attention, you're trying to get followers, trying to get people to watch. There was one thing Mayweather said during the whole media scrum that really kind of made me chuckle. You know how Mayweather likes to talk about, I'm so rich, I'm so set. He was saying, you know, if you took away YouTube, I'm still rich, I'm still wealthy. I don't need social media. These two guys do. And I just thought, how ridiculous is that argument? Because you say you don't need social media, and yet you're coming out of retirement to fight a fucking YouTuber. So yes, you do need social media.
That is such an egotistical move before it's even like a fucking like prove yourself move.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no doubt in my mind, Mayweather, like there's no way Paul will keep up with Mayweather in the ring. No. Mayweather is if it's a fight, if it still goes, it doesn't get called off. Like there's what's the other one that got called off? There's supposed to be a Hafthor Bjornsson versus Eddie Hall fight. Like the two world's strongest men were supposed to go at it in the gym.
Oh, did that get called off?
Yeah, I think it did because just the unfair advantage. Hafthor is like 6'9" and Eddie's like 6'2". So like the reach and all the everything is just so far off.
Yeah, but I mean in heavyweights, you've had Tyson Fury's what 6'7" and he fights
these are like
6 foot tall.
Super quadruple fucking Super Mario weights. These guys are not fucking.
Yeah, but that just means that it's going to be round one and they're both going to be passed out in the corner because they're tired.
I don't know, man. You should look at them right now.
I was paying attention. Yeah, they both lost a considerable amount of weight to do it, but still, man, guys that big. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are and how much you trained. Like you go into boxing from powerlifting, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, they're both going to be sucking wind. And you know,
do you remember like the way I picture the fight? Do you remember like the giant robot fights in Power Rangers when like all the robots like morphed into the giant big monster robot?
Of course I do. I love Power Rangers.
How like slow those punches were coming around in slow motion. And like that's how I picture that kind of fight going. Like
yeah.
That's a good way to end this segment. If you give us a minute, we'll be right back.
And we're back. My headphones were running out of power, so I had to switch up. Plus, Josh was being inappropriate and showing us his wiener, so we just had to cut that out for editing purposes.
Yeah, we have to. You can find that podcast on our different.
It's on a different website. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so. We got a little long-winded on First Blood, but so that means we're moving on to the second wind. Second wind's a little more chill of a topic here. One of the things we wanted to talk about was COVID. Finally, maybe, possibly, kind of coming to an end. We're getting into a place where we've got a finish line in sight. We can start doing some normal shit. How are we feeling about that, guys? I'm sure you guys are feeling like finally, right?
Well, I go for my first shot tomorrow. Thank God. And I'm ready for this shit to be done. You know, we have our wedding in August, and if all goes according to plan, you guys are actually going to be able to fucking come to it. And we're going to have a 2-day camping adventure pretty much. We rented out a whole campground, so everyone's going to get shit faced, and we have a firework budget.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. You got a drone to film it?
That's
I have one.
I did go to a camping wedding once, and they did a fireworks display, and they filmed it with a drone. It was pretty damn deadly.
Oh, it's not going to be a display. It's just going to be a bunch of rednecks fucking lighting off those $100 boxes of fireworks. You know? All the Roman candles, fair game.
You're just gonna write fireworks on the side of a gas can and light it up.
A little bit of tannerite just floated out into the fucking lake.
Right on.
But no, I'm ready for some normalcy.
I am absolutely ready. Josh, what about you, man? You said you're dealing with a lot of COVID out the work site, so.
Oh man, it's unreal. Like 4 guys last week that worked for the same company I worked for on site, sent home for self-quarantine because they tested positive. Last night shift, the supervisor, he tested positive. So we got 5 guys on our crew or on our from our company in just 1 week, sent home for 10 days. And then that's just tipping the iceberg for our company. There's so many out here. It's COVID out here is bad. So I think I read like 50-50, like that's the ratio of people who have it. It's a state of emergency out here. And for the only reason I'm out here is for the money. So
she's going to be herd immunity in no time out there. Holy fuck.
But I also got my first shot. I got my Pfizer shot there last week on Thursday. So
everybody's getting a Wi-Fi extender. Perfect.
Nice.
Well, maybe that's why I've got bad service. Really
hasn't fully kicked in yet. Fuck, see?
That microchip's stealing all my Wi-Fi.
Fucking, you're only at 2.5% or 2.5.
You goddamn Bill Gates.
2.5 G right now.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get the other one to get the full thing.
How about you, Sunshine?
Oh man, I am so ready to just be done wearing masks and having everybody fucking freak out about this. You know, like kind of like Josh said, I work in construction, so you're on the job site. People are always worried about that kind of shit. You're always in rooms full of guys, you know, that you know, half of them have masks on, half of them don't. Some care, some don't. You guys know me. I'm pretty laissez-faire about the whole thing. I think it's overblown, but yeah. I am fully supportive of getting this thing done. And if it takes people getting vaccines to do it, hey, man, I'm ready for the summer to come and for us to be able to go outside, have drinks with friends, and actually maybe do a podcast in person instead of over the Zoom call. Not that this is bad, but
there, Sunshine.
Oh, you bet your ass I do, buddy. This year and every year, I go on my annual fishing trip to Limestone Lake, and holy crap, am I looking forward to that. It's less than a month away, boys. Less than 1 month, I'll be on the fucking lake.
I'm hoping to get out to Ontario this summer. That's where the girlfriend's from, so we're gonna see if we can get out there to try and see her family. But if not, you know, better luck next year, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you guys can get out there by, like, because they say it's July, the end of July is when the third step is supposed to be done, right? When we're finally going to get back to normalcy, which it's still a little ways away. We still got a couple of months to get through before that happens. But by the end of July, I mean, that's kind of the end of summer, but you still got enough time to really get out there, do maybe some camping, some fishing. I'm sure people that are watching, you guys have some summer plans. Please let us know. Anybody who has summer plans out there, let us know what you're going to be doing.
Quite frankly, I'm just kind of sick of talking about it myself.
Well, yeah, everybody's sick of it. Well, on that note, how about we switch up topics? And I know Chase is really wanting to talk about this Chinese rocket. I don't know much about it.
I fucking love space and rockets right now. I don't know what the fuck it is. Elon Musk has like sparked that interest with SN-15. They finally landed one without it blowing up. So their newest rocket actually, it's basically shooting a silo up in the air, 10 kilometers, putting it on its side, dropping it back down to Earth, and last minute it does a tail whip and lands. And they actually did it this time without blowing it up. So congratulations to SpaceX. But China, on the other hand, they launched
China a lot less cautious about that whole saving people from dying thing.
This many fucks.
Yeah.
This many. They launched, it's China. They're creating their own. Josh froze again. Hi, buddy.
That's all right.
So they decided they are going to make their own space station up there. So
really?
They launched their first integral part, the living quarters of it.
Mm-hmm.
Launched it up, but the first stage of this thing, it goes up and it was going around. I think they said it was like 19 times an hour or something like that with circling. I don't know the
okay. Once they get into orbit,
but it's in low Earth orbit, so it's getting sucked back in, and they didn't know where the fucking thing was going to land. It was literally just, hey, we're going to shoot
coin flip.
Hopefully
it's okay.
That's exactly what they did. They're like, we don't know where it's going to land, but hey, let's fire it up there and hope it doesn't hit a city on the way down. Luckily, it landed in the ocean, but yeah, we got a view of that.
Yeah, you got a video up on there, eh?
Yeah, so we got a little bit up here. This is just on a loop, so It landed in the ocean there. There it is coming in, just screaming hot. 3 different angles of it. But yeah, like I said, they launched it knowing full well that
they had no idea where it was going to come down.
They had no clue that, hey, this thing's going to come down in a amount of heat. So, I mean, it begs the question, why wouldn't you strap it with like a few charges to break it up at least so it can burn up in the atmosphere on the reentry? But
yeah, well, but wouldn't that, like, okay, say they did that, strapped explosives to it and said, all right, but you kind of don't know if things are going real great until it's through the atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
So that would kind of be preemptive. They're like, you know what, just put the abort button.
Yeah.
Was it manned?
No, this was all.
Okay, well.
Yeah, this was
okay. Well, then
flight, so it was all just computerized. So,
alrighty,
China, do better. The next time you launch one, maybe, I don't know, shoot it farther.
They don't get content from our internet. They have a China internet, and they're only allowed to watch that. They got a firewall up around there.
And
but
I've seen some of the Chinese shit that ends up on our end, and not that stuff, but it's weird.
That's a very specific genre video you're watching there, Chase. So, probably don't want to make that public. All right. Well, okay. So we've gone through First Blood. We've gone through Second Wind. I think it's time to hit the third wheel here. We're getting a little long and winded on this stuff.
Just real quick, Robert, and the UFO thing.
Oh, well, no, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about space rockets. Third wheel, we got Robert Gatesman. He brought up a question.
Hi, buddy. We miss you.
Oh, Robert, I love you, man, but this is a weird ass question, but we're still going to talk about it. So Rob wanted to say, he said he wanted us to talk about how there's a lot of UFO sightings in the States. And some people, I think when he says some people, he means himself, think that it's us from the future coming back to watch the United States collapse. Rob, I don't know what kind of T.S. Eliot bullshit you're reading, or Minority Report movies you've been watching. Like, just maybe calm down. Maybe, read a book.
Would you put it past the world right now if this was a true thing? Oh, you froze now. Fuck, is it just me? Oh no. Sunshine? Sunshine? And we'll be right back.
I'm back. I don't know. I had a little hiccup there. Oh, see, now, Rob, I tend to believe you. I start talking about UFOs and shit, and suddenly all my instruments go weird. Coincidence? I think not.
Stop it.
That's grounds for a freaking conspiracy theory right there, bud.
All those crazy people in the trailer park, this is going to happen one day, and they're going to be like, "See, I told you.
I told you they're trying to stop you from talking about it."
Oh, it's so.
Well, I mean, what you were saying is, could I put it past? I mean, I wouldn't put it past, but I'm sorry, I don't, until I see some evidence of time travel,
It's stretchy.
It's still kind of pretty stretchy out there,
Why
but we do appreciate
they come
Rob's
back to
question.
this point.
Right? Why would you be like, let's go somewhere better? If like, especially
Hey,
during COVID.
You guys want to see
a
train wreck?
Are they going to come back wearing masks and shit? They're like, don't breathe on me. But but yeah. So anyway, that's from Rob. Rob, thanks for your question, buddy. We love you. We also got a question that related to another one of our topics we were talking about earlier. Nikki wants to know about everybody's summer plans / best vacation. I was talking about my fishing trip that I go on every year. That's kind of one and the same. My best vacations are always this fishing trip. I love doing it. It's me and my dad and a bunch of the guys going up. We're actually doing 3 this year. So, there's going to be some other ones where we go with the loved ones. It's not just a boys trip. We got one in July and one in September. So I'm pretty psyched for all the fishing I'm going to be doing. Chase, what do you got on the docket? Other than your wedding, obviously.
Getting fucking married. Yeah. No, we finally booked a family camping trip.
Where to?
We're gonna hit up Echo. The little guy, he's gonna be 3 by that time. He's only 2 right now. He did okay in the tent last year. My girls are pretty, and I don't think they've really done tents, so we're gonna keep it a little closer to home. see how they do. They got their own tent, and mom, dad, and the wee boy are going to be in a tent together. So we'll see. And then, yeah, like I said, in August, we're hopefully going to have the big wedding.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. You know, if everything goes according to plan, we're looking around 150 people out at a campground. We're not going to say which campground because I don't want a bunch of people showing up. But
Yeah, you wouldn't want all 10 people to watch this thing coming up.
I mean, praised fans. I don't need to be tackled in a suit.
Right. I don't want to be people asking for my signature while I'm getting married.
Unless you're bringing a gift, fuck off.
Yeah, well, there you go. If you're gonna gate crash, you might as well bring like a good gift. We're talking like $100 plus.
Yeah. I mean, in that case, shoot us a message on Facebook, and I might let you in.
Josh, what about you? What are your summer plans / best vacation ever?
My summer plans, that's what I was talking about before. What did you guys talk about Rocket Something Wong already, or?
We did.
Yeah, that's far gone.
You're living in the past, bro.
The only thing I wanted to ask about is, what do you guys think about? Okay, so you know those tribes that like live in remote places that have had zero contact with any type of civilization whatsoever.
Sitting their loincloths.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine what was going on in their heads when they saw something like that go shooting over?
Oh, absolutely. I can imagine it'd be the same thing that happened back in the day when, lightning hit. They made a god up for it and explained it somehow as the fire god getting angry or doing something. That's just what civilizations do when they can't understand. They make some kind of deity out of it.
Shitty loincloths.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, no, but okay. So we were talking about your summer plans. What is your best vacation ever? Do you have something that, just really struck a chord or something you'd like to do again?
Best one ever, I think, be two of them. One, when I went to the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio, that was pretty freaking awesome.
Okay, right on. Yeah, I've seen your pictures.
And then I had one in mind earlier, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was a family vacation when I was a kid. We went out to the mountains. We went down those alpine slides and downhill mountain biking and stuff like that. I need to get back out to BC, man. That place is amazing.
See, I'd have to say when I was younger, my parents took me and my two younger brothers down to the States, and I'm sure it was the most stressful thing for the old man because we were driving on interstates, and I remember learning a lot of words, but we did a huge trip where it was North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, Colorado, and we did this big loop, and we seen everything like the Black Hills. If you've never been to the Black Hills, you need to go there once in your life. It is such a beautiful area.
I've been there.
Incredible. You have Deadwood and
really great stuff.
Mount Rushmore. So we did that. We went to, I believe it was Six Flags in Denver. I think it was Six Flags. A big fucking amusement park. But, as a kid, I hated all the driving, but looking back now, it was like, fuck, that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Sunshine?
Yeah, I definitely took that for granted when I was younger.
Oh, well, don't you remember being a young kid and if it was an hour in the driving from, I remember because a lot of my family lived in Regina and I grew up in Saskatoon. That was like a forever trip. And that's like 2.5 hours going the speed limit, so driving to the States. Yeah, but then again, my parents were smart enough. They had do you remember the little travel board games before they had Game Boys and phones and shit? We had a travel version of Battleship, and it was all magnetic and stuff. And that kept us entertained, for a good 20 to 30 minutes before we started complaining.
Game Boys were honestly the tits when you were on along. Do you remember when it would get dark and they finally came out with the Game Boy Color and it had that little fucking clip-in light?
Yeah. Well, I remember when they had that light and it was the worst fucking light. Like you could see, it was either you could see a black screen or a little sliver of light and a black screen.
Oh, because the Game Boy wasn't black lit. It was backlit. It was just like.
Yeah, no, it was just straight black and white.
Screen.
Yeah. But we all loved them. Game Boys were the tits. Loved them.
Tetris all day, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking come on. See, I'm a little bit younger, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm the oldest one here, aren't I?
I think so.
So did they did they make a vaccine strictly for millennials, or was it just like where the arm?
No, I don't think you can cure millennial.
Oh,
I think it's a permanent condition. So good luck. All right, boys. I think we've droned on long enough for this episode. Despite the technical difficulties and the stammering, I think it was a pretty successful one. We want to thank Rob and Nikki for their questions and everybody for their support. I know there were some other people that asked some questions, and we appreciate you guys joining in and trying. Keep sending us suggestions. We always like to rotate the people we put on the show. Boys, you got any final thoughts before we sign off?
What did you guys learn from today's episode?
I learned Josh has bad Wi-Fi connection up north.
Josh needs to get a second shot so his Wi-Fi comes back.
He also looks very good in the sunlight. Look at him. Just handsome as hell.
Just glowing. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's this new skin treatment I'm doing. It just gives you that. I think it might be just like radiation from uranium here. It might make me like glow like.
Hey man,
did you just start those facials when you got into the all-male camp, or was this previous?
Actually,
I bet Josh has been doing some serious facial treatments.
It's just the showers that are all male. Okay.
Have you dropped
guys
soap?
have to all go in at once?
No, I got soap on a rope, just like the old hockey days.
All right, boys. Well, I think that's it for this episode of the Rec Room. We appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe if you can, and we hope you enjoyed Getting Wrecked.